Dare. Adventure to find the legendary treasure of time had led them across fields of tall grass and through winding rivers. By late afternoon, a shadow rose against the darkening sky. It was a towering stone structure with a crooked spire and massive gears visible through the broken walls. The clock tower of time, Mapleton declared solemnly. The key of time is hidden there. Bed. Beware, the tower does not tick like ordinary clocks. As they approached, the air grew heavy, almost buzzing with energy. The hands of the giant clock spun wildly, sometimes forward, sometimes backward. Chimes rang, though the hour was never clear. "This place gives me the shivers," Anne whispered, clutching her brother's hand. "Me too," Dick admitted, trying to sound brave. "Let's just get the key and go." Inside, the air smelled of rust and candle wax. Motes of dust danced in the pale light, filtering through grimy windows. Time was strange here. Dust motes froze midair, then sped up like shooting stars. Steps they had taken seemed to repeat. Dick walked into the room twice without realizing it. "Darcy a vu?" he asked, baffled. "No," Julian said, frowning. "It's the tower twisting time." Ahead, a huge pendulum swung slowly above a pedestal in the center of the room. It glowed like molten gold. And beneath it, bathed in its golden light, floated the third key, a bronze piece shaped like an hourglass. "A piece of cake," George said, striding forward. But as soon as her foot touched the floor, the pendulum split the air with a booming chime. The room warped. In an instant, 5 different versions of George appeared. Young George with pigtails. Old George with a walking stick. George laughing, George looking serious, and one wearing a pirate hat and eye patch. "War!" Dick exclaimed. "There's 5 of you." "Which one's the real Georgiana?" "I'm obviously the real one," all 5 Georges said at once, each folding her arms in annoyance. Anne bit her lip. The tower is showing different versions of her across time. Timmy sniffed at each George, then barked once, a sharp, insistent sound. "Devar." Georges flickered and vanished like smoke. "Good boy." George laughed, patting his head. But the pendulum swung again. This time, Julian found himself standing face to face with an older version of himself. His hair was graying, his eyes were filled with wisdom, and he carried a worn leather journal. "Holder." Julian smiled kindly. "Welcome, my future self. Remember this. The treasure you seek is not gold. It is what binds you together." Then, like sand slipping through an hourglass, he faded away. Julian swallowed hard, unsure what it meant, but knowing his friends would need him. "Focus," Mapleton urged, his voice ringing with authority. "The key of time waits." The pendulum now swung dangerously fast. To reach the pedestal, they had to dodge its golden arc. Dick cracked his knuckles. "Easy, I've seen this in action movies." He darted forward, ducking and rolling dramatically, only to trip over his own shoelace and land flat on his face. The pendulum missed him by inches. George groaned. "Smooth, Dick. Very smooth." Together, timing each swing, they made it across. Anne lifted the bronze key. The pendulum froze midair with a final resonant dong. Time in the tower stilled. They had all 3 keys now. Light, water, and time. The shell in Anne's pocket glowed brighter than ever, pulsing like a heartbeat. V. But before they could celebrate, the tower's bells rang violently, echoing across the land. A cold laugh drifted through the air. Finally, a shadowy voice hissed. "They've brought me what I need." Timmy's fur bristled. The friends glanced at one another, unease prickling in their chests. They were no longer alone in their quest.